Hello YouTube, Damo _23 here, and welcome back to another episode of my FPL content. I need to give it a name, just us reviewing FPL. It's our game week 3 look at, and of course potential transfers, etc. For those that do not know, I am filming this a week in advance. I on the Saturday of the 20th flying out to Gold Coast to go play in one of Australia's major poker series. So with that being said, this is very much in the future for Game Week 3, but will be uploaded as a further upload in before the Game Week 3 deadline and a bit closer to that deadline as well. In today's video, we're going to discuss, I will have 2 transfers, as if you watched the last video, and if not, go check it out because Game Week 2, obviously, pre-lose the Game Week 3, we are rolling, so we've got 2 free transfers to look at using. I might use 2, I might use 1, and I can tell you what the plan is if we roll as well. With that being said, I am going to get these guys to give it a like, subscribe to the YouTube channel, leave me a comment. It really helps feed the algorithm. The first 2 videos done absolutely amazingly. The Game Week 2 video only went up late last night, so haven't looked at that analytical data yet. But thank you for the support is the first thing I'm going to say. Give it a like, do subscribe to the YouTube channel, and look, Fantasy Football Hub is on the screen because I'm not looking at my Premier League team because that is just all situated for Game Week 2. Let's go and discuss what I have got as a team right now. I've got 100% game week, 97% team rating. The AI transfers tab will only give me the transfer for, I think, Game Week 2 here. I'm going to double check this live with you guys, but it should only give me the Game Week 2 transfers there. Please import your FPL team on the Picks tab to access AI transfers. Well, I have. It's telling me to buy Sell Embalmer for Osulu is what it's going to tell me to do, which fair enough. It tells me that I've got 100% team rating, and it wants me to just not burn a transfer and go to Osulu. And that is one of the moves that I have been thinking about as well, is that maybe because we are in such a good position, it might be the cat that Baldock to Kabore is a very good move because he's the better 4.0 and might go up in price. It might be Embalmer to Osulu because maybe everyone's getting on him because he's playing for Sheffield with the injuries they have, and we'll do okay. That's my Game Week 2 team. But outside of that, I've got some more exciting moves I want to discuss. As you guys know, I'm rotating Turner and Pickford. Hopefully, after you've seen this after Game Week 2, Turner's kept a clean sheet, saved 2 penalties, and has got like a 20-point haul. Doubt that highly. But yeah, Chilwell, obviously, he's got Luton in Game Week 3. Obviously started for me in Game Week 2, so it's great. Gabriel is one of the players we'll talk about, depending on what happens. Stupian, Bruno, Salah, Mbeumo, Maddison, Saka, Haaland, and Joe Pedro. Hopefully Salah's just gone and got a hat-trick against Bournemouth because I'm captaining him. Hopefully Bruno's looked a bit better, and Mbeumo's continued his form, and Maddison has got a return against United and is well on his way to 200 points this season. But the team itself, if you look at it, is fine. And that's the thing, it's pretty good. And if you go to the Game Week 4, yet again, it looks pretty good as well. Now, with that too, I would bring Chilwell in and drop a Stupian against Newcastle because I think they would concede. But you can see he's still got Gabriel there. And let's go and have a look at what I will do. So I think the initial onset is I was going to get rid of a Stupian with his harder runner fixtures and go and get in a Spurs defender. Originally, it was going to be Pedro Porro. I thought he was nailed over Emerson Royal. This is why you don't make early transfers or anything. We've seen that Emerson Royal was starting. So unless we come out and see Emerson Royal get injured and Porro come off the bench and he looks nailed, it will not be Emerson Royal. It will not be Pedro Porro coming in. What that means is that we need to make a choice of which defender do we take out to bring in either a Spurs defender who's more of an attacker now, or do we look at a different option to get a Chelsea asset in? In terms of funds, we got no funds. I don't want to drop Maddison. And to be fair, Salah goes Newcastle, Villa, Wolves, and after what we saw from Villa in Game Week 1, am I really going to drop Salah? He's pretty fixture-proof. So there's a couple of caveats here. Firstly, I think with just rotation for Gabriel, who I'm holding in Game Week 2, if he does not start, I will be selling him before his price drops. That is for sure. Now, if we get rid of him, there's 2 options for me. First one is Rico Henry. Looked really good in Game Week 1. Looked fantastic in Game Week 1. He goes Fulham, Palace, Bournemouth, Newcastle, Everton. So against Fulham, we don't get him, but we get him for 2 home games against Palace, who put up some very good XG, and Eze's and he looks good. And then you got Bournemouth, who I think he could keep a clean sheet and get attacking returns. Got Everton and Forest as well. So there is a lot of fixtures there where you really like him and you're like, perfect, there we go. And in Game Week 5, where you really don't want to play him, I do think Chelsea in Game Week 5 have Bournemouth, where I would just double on the Chelsea defence. So I don't particularly mind Rico Henry because I think he swaps nicely with Colwell, who's a 4.5 mil. Can use him in these weaker fixtures. There's probably a case for me to say that we probably play Colwell in game week 3 anyway. All right? And that's not too bad. So that's my first option. Second option, right, is Destiny Udogi. Now, Udogi has less rotation risk on the left. He looks absolutely locked. Where on the right, Emerson and Porro could share minutes. Now, with Destiny Udogi, you love seeing him get forward. Obviously, Rail got the return, but Udogi looked good. He looked like he's getting forward. These inverted wing backs of Ange, a big part of his system where they underlap into the 8 positions, while the 10, which is Madison, is playing off all around him, and it creates a lot of space for Madison too. And these guys could get on the end of some attacking returns in and around the box. Sure, Emerson score from distance. You saw a couple runs into the area. If everything clicks, these guys will get some assists from cutting balls back, etc. So I think Destiny Udogi is another option, all right? And this option here is a fun option too, because it gives you double Spurs for a very good fixture run. I've got double Chelsea. It does mean that, I should be playing probably 4 defenders and dropping someone from the midfield or dropping Joe Pedro, but it makes things very difficult. I don't know how we do that. But yeah, Destiny Udogi's there, obviously a good pick for the future. What I don't mind doing, and this might be a little bit out there, which no one's doing, is Botman. Now, Botman has got Liverpool, Brighton, Brentford. But if I swap Botman for Levi, for Colwell plays Luton and Forest. Should be 2 clean seats for Chelsea, which is not too bad. So if I was to go now into game week 4 and play the same back 4 and get a Stupien in because of the attacking returns, in game week number 5, right? In game week number 5, the team goes a bit crazy. I would bench a Stupien against United, and Buemo would come back in, and I get Botman against Brentford, which is not great, and I'll probably actually ride a Stupien here. But what it means is that in game week 6, where everybody's looking to get in Newcastle options and people that don't have Botman already, I've got Botman for his game week 6 onward fixture, which is Sheffield, Burnley, West Ham could be a potential clean sheet too, and I've got him in for those really good fixtures long term. And what that means is that it allows me to play Levi Colwell and double up on the Chelsea defence, which I know people might be going, but if they kept a clean sheet, whatever. For me, it's more the case that Chilwell will get attacking returns, and if Chelsea do keep a clean sheet, those 6 points from Colwell, because he is nailed, it's important to couple with whatever Chilwell does as well. So actually thinking, as of right now, the move is Gabriel to Botman, puts 0.5 in the bank, and it allows me to bench, just save this, and it allows me to bench Botman for the next couple of game weeks, and allows me to have Botman for when Newcastle's fixtures turn, and then we can use him for such. So, with that being said, and the team now being saved with Botman, what that means is in game week 4 we do this, in game week 5 we do this, in game week 6, we could play him in game week 6, in game week 5, sorry, we do this. In game week 6 we definitely play him, right, and I would probably go Botman over the likes of Levi Colwell, right, and straight away you got Botman in. In game week 7, Botman's got Burnley, Fulham, Aston Villa, but again, Estupian, for what I saw in game week 1 and what I saw back in the last year, he's so attacking, he probably gets attacking returns. I would rather have a Estupian and Chilwell than Stones. Stones, 6 points, yes, he might get the odd goal from the middle of the park. I would much rather a Estupian and Chilwell and play him in some harder fixtures. Could go Colwell over Aston Villa here. Could also go and take Maddison out against Liverpool, but I wouldn't do that. And same way Salah against Spurs. And this is the other thing that you look at, is I haven't even bothered about looking at other transfers here in this leg. But what it means is that I'm ahead of the game again. I started with Maddison. I started with Chilwell in game week 1 because I wanted to be ahead of their fixture swing. Maybe because the team's in a really good spot, instead of going for Udogi, and instead of going for another Chelsea defender like Sanchez or something, I might go for Botman so he's on my bench for game week 6 onwards. And what it means is that maybe my next transfer that I look at is look at another Newcastle asset and go, okay, get a second one in. And that's maybe what we do. So in game week 3, I'm actually leaning towards Botman for the bench and Colwell starts, because it puts me in a position with 2 transfers in game week 4, and straight away, I don't particularly need to make too many. So straight away, you're looking at, okay, who's the next fixture swing? Who's it going to be? I'm thinking it's Newcastle, right? I'm thinking it's Newcastle, but it might be someone else in there. I really do want Nicholas Jackson, not going to lie. I think Nicholas Jackson is nearly must get for Chelsea. But I don't know how we get to him. Now, I'm not going to do it in game week 3. I think we make the one change and roll. But if we want to get Nicholas Jackson in, unfortunately it's Salah down to someone, and then it's Nicholas Jackson up. And with the fixture run, I do think Son's really good. I do think Richarlison's a pretty good punt, but Spurs may have brought someone in. So say, for instance, we just did Richarlison for Salah in game week 4, which kills me to do. It allows me to get a Nicholas Jackson in and have money in the bank. And all of a sudden, I've used one transfer in game week 3. I've had Salah for game week 1, 2, and 3. I tell you right now, if Salah bangs as captain and looks good in game week 3, he never leaves the team. But if Salah in game week 2 blanks as captain, only gets 1 return, and in game week 3 doesn't score, I do think the long-term play is to get Nicholas Jackson in for Forest, Bournemouth, and at home to Villa, and get Richarlison in as the second Spurs option to get Burnley, Sheffield for the next 2 game weeks, and then use him as a placeholder to go in game week 5, 6, to go for probably another 6.5 option, or to go to anyone that's really, really, really handy for those fixtures. You know, you look at those fixtures here, you're probably looking at maybe hard to pick. Wouldn't go Matoma. Foden, maybe, if nailed. Probably Eze. Eze got Fulham. I know he gets Man United, but then he gets Forest. You probably go to Eze, and that gives you plenty of money in the bank. And what that could do is, like, that could be your way to Trippier, for instance, for their good run of fixtures. That could be your way to get Kobo up the Trippier, which actually is a pretty smart move in game week 6. You know, you could go to Eze, and then this is Kobo, thank you for the memories, and this is how you get to Trippier. And I think that's a really, really, really good play. And I know that means that Salah's in a little bit of whatever, and you lose Salah, but it gives you 3 million in the bank, gives you Trippier on the bench, and it means that you can get Trippier into this team pretty easily as well, and just drop someone here. I don't know who you drop though. That's actually really tough. You get Trippier in, but I don't know who you drop. You drop someone, the game's going to tell me to drop Botman for Trippier. I would rather double up on the defence against Sheffield because they're going to keep a clean sheet. Fulham I would rather. Everton, Arsenal, Spurs. I think there's goals in that. I don't want to really drop Maddison, who's such a creative outlet. Don't want to drop here. Do I drop Nicholas Jackson? Probably not. Gives you a very good decision headache in game week 6. So at the moment, plan is in game week 2, Captain Salah. You guys know this. Game week 3, if Salah's blanked against Bournemouth, we could make a double move here to go to Richarlison and free up funds for Nicholas Jackson in the future. Could even be a hit, which is, going in and doing the move of Botman, Salah, and Pedro up. I don't think that's the play, though, to take a hit. Game week 4, if Salah has blanked, you then go and get Richarlison and Jackson in and go Salah and Pedro out, which I think could be good. Depending on what Spurs do transfer-wise, I would imagine another body's coming in there. It'd be interesting to see who it is. And then in game week 5, we probably roll the transfer. So you've got 2 free transfers in game week 6 to get Trippier and Eze in. I'm thinking that is the play at the moment. So hopefully you guys have stayed with me through that. If you haven't, and that's a bit confusing, watch it back about 6 different times. But at the moment, in game week 3, it is one move, which is a boring move, but it's Botman in for Gabriel, who seems to be a rotation risk. Allows me 2 really aggressive fullbacks and a cohort to play against Luton and Forest, and I expect Chelsea to keep clean sheets. And then it gives me an option to, if I want to, drop Salah. And if I don't drop Salah, because he's been banging it, it's very easily done for us that we, that we make a slight change, and we will probably look at buying someone else. I do want Nicholas Jackson, and I don't want to drop Salah for it, but it would be my only move. The only other move is that if United still look absolutely wank and Bruno hasn't really done anything, we drop Bruno down to a 6.5, and it allows me to get there. So what that would look like if I go and do this, hopefully it doesn't save my changes. For those wondering. Hard to preempt. Game's taking a second there. Hard to preempt. The other move would be in game week 3, if Bruno's gone blank, is to still ride Bruno for Forest. And then in game week 4 before Arsenal Brighton, you could technically go Bruno down. And to be fair, Eze's fixtures looked really good. I could go to Richarlison, but I think I'd take Wolves, Villa, Fulham to get extra funds, and that should allow me enough to get to Jackson and leave a mil in the bank as things stand. And those 2 moves are not too bad as well. So, in short, We're going for probably Botman as my one transfer and rolling in the game week 2, in the game week 4, and then in game week 4 we are looking at a double transfer, and it's either A, Salah, first 3 game weeks have been pretty poor, we move him down to Richarlison, and we get Nicholas Jackson up from Pedro, or B, if Bruno hasn't really cut the mustard, it's Eze in for Bruno, and then Jackson in as well, and that gives me a guy for the future in Eze who's got really good long-term fixtures post this, Nicholas Jackson, who's got good fixtures. Botman, who in game week 6 is going to be fantastic. Gives me money in the bank, and it will probably allow me to also look at somehow having a route to Trippier as well. Let me know what you're going to do. Let me know if you stayed up to date with that or if that was too much rambling. I'm trying to preempt what I would do as well. It makes things a little bit unclear. You know, this was next week, we know Salah's been red carded. I already know my move. If Salah scores a hat-trick, I know I'm not selling him. It's that sort of thing. It's very hard to preempt. I'm trying to give you guys game week 3. I am not back before game week 4 as well, so take this as the video to see our game week 4 plans as well. And then we'll be back to film a video for game week number 5. With that being said, hopefully you've enjoyed the episode. Do give it a like, do subscribe to the YouTube channel. Thank you for staying with me. Hopefully it wasn't too wordy. It probably was, not gonna lie. If you enjoy the mustache, because I'm gonna go like this to Queensland, let me know too. I'll catch you guys later. Thank you and goodbye.